Hi, Queen. It's me, Vuyanzi of VuyanziCoaches.com and Vuyanzi Coaches that will be on the Coach channel coming very soon. I hope that I'll see you there. Now, we're here for the third and final installment of how to speak your truth during tumultuous times. I gotta tell you something. I really need to be super transparent with you. That the next thing that I talk to you about often happens to me. And that is that I start speaking on a subject and there becomes, let's call it an opportunity or two to do exactly what it is that I've been talking about. So yes, I had begun to speak my truth more so now than ever before. However, there was some key things that happened over the past 24 hours since I even recorded part 2. So remember in part 1, I said, speak it with class, right? So that more people will be receptive to what it is that you are saying. And also I said, when you speak your truth, it opens up the door for others to start speaking theirs. That was part 1. Part 2 was speaking your truth unapologetically. And I gave an example of the Instagram video of LL. Somebody said Lady Loves Cool James on Instagram that I saw, and he spoke his truth in a rap unapologetically. So I said, I encourage you to speak your truth unapologetically. Today, I'm going to use a term that may feel weak. It may be a little controversial, but I believe I need to say this final point, and I will make this the third and final point of this series. Please listen to me carefully. To speak your truth in love. To speak your truth in love. Now, some of you might first think, what are you talking about? These people weren't loving us. I didn't say loving. I said speak it in love. Well, what do I mean by that? I actually mean 2 things. Number 1 is I believe in the divine love that comes from God. And that lives within me, Vuyanzi. And so therefore already I will radiate and emanate and project love because it is already inside me. Even when there are hard conversations being had, I can do it in love. Why? Because the divine lives in me. Okay, so that's the first part of the love that resides right here. The second part of speaking your truth in love has to do with what came before me. And I don't know that we are always aware of this, but let's rewind, if we will, and think about images and recordings that we have seen from, let's just first put it into the 1960s, right? Because we're actually seeing where there were people who would protest, people who protested with severe consequences. So whether that's the image of what you see, the protesters sitting at the lunch counter, the black protesters, and I guess some of their white counterparts too. For a moment, I'm going to focus on the black people involved. And then you see, if you've ever seen pictures, people putting food on them as they sat there. Listen, we're talking about love, so just please listen. Maybe some of you have seen protesters at the hands of police where the dogs are being, where they're being attacked by dogs. The police are sicking. I don't even know that is a word, but you know what I mean? Like when you sick the dog on someone, and you've seen images or even recordings of that. Some of you have seen recordings of people getting blasted with the fire hose when they were protesting. Some of you have seen fights. Some of you have seen people get spit on. Some of you have seen little girls walk into schools and see white women yelling at them because they were integrating. So do you get the point? Okay. Why am I using those examples? I'm using them as an example to say this. It is something that many of you logically know, but I don't know if you will feel it in the manner in which I'll give it to you right now. Sacrifice is made for a reason. You know, a lot of times people will say, well, get out the vote because somebody sacrificed. But why did someone sacrifice and get spat on? Why did someone sacrifice and get a dog sicked on them? Why did someone sacrifice and sit in places where they weren't even wanted? I come with the argument, not a true argument, but I have to submit to you today that there was love behind those actions. Listen to me. I'm telling you something, that there was love, L-O-V-E, behind those actions. You don't do things like that for people and rights that you don't care about, that you don't love. There was love during these actions, and I'm just using this as an example. 1960s is relatively recently, but we know because we've read the stories of those ancestors of ours that were enslaved, and some would risk their lives for education, and some risked their lives in running away, and some risked their lives in helping others to run away. And I got to submit to you that it was done under the guise of love. Queen, when I am speaking to you today and I tell you to speak your truth in love, it's not because love is weak. It's because love is strong. And there was an energy, I will even say from 1619, of people who said, 1619 is when the first blacks came as enslaved people. However, there would begin to be an energy of saying that we won't stand for injustice, and even if it means the taking of my life, right? That energy did not dissipate. That energy has not all of a sudden been eradicated. That energy is something that no one can touch. And it is the love that has been passed on from generation to generation, thus allowing you to be able to speak your truth in love. And sit with that. And if love doesn't propel you to speak your truth, then my God, I don't know what will. The love of the divine and the love and sacrifice, but the love of those that came before us so that I could sit right here on this chair and speak to you and even to other people who I have been speaking my truth to. Part 3, to speak your truth in love during these tumultuous times. I am Vuyanzi of VuyanziCoaches.com and the upcoming show on the Coach channel, Vuyanzi Coaches. I hope that you will like and that you will share this video, and I would most certainly love to hear your comments. God bless you. Mwah.